Please remember to subscribe and share this video to help disabled animals with donated wheelchairs. This is going to be an excavation of a blotch-sided lizard. Oh, another little baby went by. A little unusual. This is the 74th day after the lizard laid its or closed up its nest. They typically are basically hatch out about 60 days later. Yesterday, on the 73rd day, I decided to decide what was going to go on here, because I've been watching this nest for 5 days before the 60-day point and 5 days later, and decided to wait a little longer. And as I got to about this point right here, a little baby lizard ran out of the hole. So I said, okay, I'm done. And I closed it back up, and we're going to try again today. And I might just see another little lizard tail. Oh no, it's a root. Okay, so we're going to be a little more aggressive and open this up. Now, from what I can tell, only 2 lizards came out. It's a little unusual, as these nests usually have up to 6 or more. And we're going to find out. Looks like we may have another tunnel coming through here. We'll find out what happened if there's any other unhatched eggs, and if that's the case, we'll just close it back up and they'll hatch. So no harm, no foul. Now, I just made a comment. I saw another little baby lizard. There's probably several nests in this area, and hatching about the same time. This species of lizard has a survival tactic of having multiple clutches per year, and not too big, and they are basically part of the food chain, as you can imagine. Surprised I'm not getting to the egg chamber yet, given how fast that little lizard came out the other day. Very fast. In fact, when I put together the video, I'll probably have to do a slow motion segment for it. And I was lucky enough, as I was walking by, I saw another little baby just came out, so I got my cell phone out and took a little bit of video. I might be able to insert that here also. It's amazing how small these guys can be. He was, his body was, his tail was less than 1 inch long. And they're completely born to take on the world. Eating very tiny insects, of course. Okay. Now, the mama lizard started this hole basically about 6 inches to that direction. And in my past, I've seen them do zigzags and go 90 degrees and then down, all kinds of interesting, amazing construction. Now, a lot of that might be just following the substrate of the dirt and finding softer dirt to follow. But I think a lot has to do with them wanting to be sure that the eggs will be safe, and also a certain type of temperature. There's a lot of reptile eggs. The sex is determined by the temperature. I think we're following that direction over there. Maybe not. Hard to say. Now we'll know when we get to the egg chamber, because we'll see these little pouches of empty eggs. The lizards don't have a hard shell like bird eggs. They don't have to be strong enough for the parent animal to be sitting on top of them. So they're rather leather-like. And I would expect that we're going to get at least 2 of them. Wow. I didn't backfill it this far. So those little lizards had partially crawled through the dirt and little shell. And I kind of helped their freedom a little bit. Now there have been times when, after all of that due diligence of filming for days ahead of their schedule and days afterwards, I still got nothing, and dug up the nest and found the, I think we're near the chamber, empty eggs. And so in that particular case, either they were way early, you know, like less than 55 days, or they came out at night. Don't know what the prevalence of that is, but I've caught many of them during the daytime. I would think the warmth would be helpful to them, even though the cover of night might also be helpful to them, because they have very few defenses other than hold still and move fast. A little bit of camouflage too, which would be primarily helpful during the daytime, of course. Well, as we're going forward, now we're going downward. So lizard went quite a ways this way, and now is going downward here. Trying not to destroy too much above here, as I may need to seal the nest back up. And if I find all the empty eggs, I'll probably go ahead and cave in the top of it so we can get a better look at what's going on. Now we know that they nothing to protect. Wow. Those little guys really had a long way to go. It's amazing. These sticks I kind of left out to remind me where the nest was, because it was going to be 2 months before I was going to come back to visit, roughly. And I have to make it very clear I want here. The person that cuts the lawn sometimes likes to get extra aggressive with weeds and things in the area, and of course just walking on top of it. I don't know how far down the nest would be, and trying to protect it from being caved in. Well, one good thing that I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing a bunch of ants that sometimes can invade a nest and eat the eggs, and I'm not seeing that. Wow, she's done a really good job. Sometimes when filming the emergence, it's kind of guesswork, because sometimes when the mama lizard digs a tunnel and it goes 90 degrees, the babies will choose that corner as an emergence on their own and come right up there. Now, if it's like within 6 inches or so, I probably still have that one in the field of my camera. but it's that may not always be the case. Okay, still no eggs or baby lizards, so no late emergers I'm helping out here. Real helpful little digging tool if you want to do this yourself is a ice teaspoon. It can be delicate and reach far enough. And refer a little light down in there too. Reflect a little light, I mean. Okay. Now listen. In all the reading I've done, I've never seen any reference to such a wide timing of when the eggs are done. I imagine it's awful reliant on the temperature, which I don't see what we're going through this year as being terribly unusual. Maybe that could be one there. Yes, I think we have one. It's out of the way. I think I may have one of the pouches empty, fortunately. Now, I don't know how interesting digging up a nest can be, but I've done it a few times, and some of the videos have had over 3,000 views, so somebody is watching them. And they're watching them from beginning to end, too. And some of these go on for quite a while. Sometimes I've mentioned in the other videos is the very first nest that I dug up was for a blotch-sided lizard, and a person, oh, here we are, person was doing their PhD thesis, asked if they could use my video in their thesis, which I said of course. And he was kind enough to send me a copy of his thesis. I wish he would do that again because I'm trying to find it. It was brilliant. This species has 5 different morphisms for the sexes. I think 3 for the males and 2 for the females by the color of their throat. And it indicates a certain amount of aggression they have. Now what I'm holding here is an empty egg sac. So that was a successful launch of a baby lizard. And let's see if we find any more. We should find at least one more, because I saw at least 2 lizards coming out of here. And here's the other one. Okay. And if we find any existing eggs, I'll show them to you, and then we'll put them back and backfill the nest. If anything, it'll be actually easier for them because it's a little softer, and they have such a short time to be worried about things. And they'll hatch. I've done this in the past. Here's another empty one. Here's one that somehow snuck out. Maybe it was this morning before I got the camera set up. So this nest has so far had 3 babies. And it's going around this way in the corner, so I'm going to cut in here a bit. so I can get a little more direct to it. Okay. Amazing mama lizard. Keep in mind, this is all programmed in their DNA. No learning on the job how to do this one. And so you can see this went this way and down, and then now that way. Let me move the camera and I'll dig out this area. Okay, so we'll move these over here, and then now this is right above the chamber right there. So only 3. That turns out to be the case. That's the smallest clutch I've seen in all the years that I've done this, which I'm far from an expert, but that's been my experience. I've seen 3 other nests, I think recorded 2 of them, and of course others. And, you only can set the camera up so many times. Still try to have the illusion of having a life also. And I think that was it. Wow. Only 3 eggs. How about that? Sometimes the natural strata of the dirt makes it look like it's something that lizard has been digging, and I'm going to follow that just to be sure, because those 3 seem not too likely. I have a feeling there should be more, but this might be it. Yeah, I think it is. Nothing else that's soft around it. Amazing. So that lizard dug through here and then down and then backwards that way. This is down about the level, about that far down. Good 4 inches. I've seen them go down a lot further than that, especially some of the bigger lizards like the granite spiny lizards and western fence lizards, which are kind of in the same family. In fact, their gestation is pretty close also for the eggs. Not gestation, but for the incubation time for the eggs is pretty close to being about the same. And in fact, one of the first ones that I actually caught the emergence was right before sunset. They're gray, and the ground was gray, and not very much light. And they popped out. And I think there was about a dozen of them. And I think one of the first videos I put on there, I put some clown music to it, like a bunch of lizards coming out of a clown car. I think that's it. I think that's what we've got. So here we are. We have 3. Oops. We have 3 hatched eggs and no unhatched eggs. So this was a success for the mom. Way to go, Mom. hope you enjoyed this and got a little something out of it. I'll try to add some more information to help understand the lifespan of this species. And little lizard that I saw running around, who knows if it came from this nest or not. There are other nests, and they are so tiny, and they act just like the adults. They climb up on a little rock and do their little push-ups and all that kind of stuff. It's comical when they're like an inch long. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to subscribe and share this video to help disabled animals with donated wheelchairs.